Chuck Bernstein, followed by Morris Brown. Welcome, Chuck.
Good evening. My name is Chuck Bernstein. I live at 444 Oak Court, Menlo Park. I wish you guys would spend as much time discussing the Menlo Park budget as you just have on the Samtrans budget. We have a very, very serious problem, and it should be on the agenda tonight. I'm disappointed that it's not. I've given you a letter with an analysis that I've done that shows that our deficit could be $3 million this year, and that assumes constant revenues from the year just ended. That's a big assumption. If that assumption is wrong, or if you decide to fund the M2 planning that was discussed a couple of weeks ago, our deficit could be as high as $4 million. Now look, my analysis could be wrong, but we won't know unless we start talking about this matter. A little history. On June 25th, 3 residents and I came to this podium and spoke against the passage of a deficit budget in the city. We've had a problem for over 3 years with a structural deficit. We need to do something about it. We haven't addressed it yet, and the problem continues. On July 27th, Carol Augustine presented a quarterly financial report for the fiscal year. Now, the focus was on the 2009-2010 year, but it had profound implications for this year's budget. Last week, we got the unaudited report that showed the same problems with the budget. Very severe, very long-term problems. I spoke here, I urged you to do something. Again, nothing's been done. We need to address the budget now. It's been 3 months and nothing has happened. No one's talking about it. Here we are celebrating Arts and Humanities Month, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love the arts and humanities like anyone, but we should be discussing the budget, because if we don't deal with those problems, we won't have any arts and humanities. Falling back on the reserves is not the answer. We know that we have about $13 million tied up in the footnotes of our financial report that relate to dealing with the obligations we incurred when we retroactively increased pensions. If we were to believe the Stanford and Pew Foundation studies, that $13 million ought to be perhaps double or triple that number, because we're underestimating the return on our investment portfolio. In other words, we might not have any reserves right now. Someone will say, of course, that the reason I'm up here is because I'm a candidate for city council. And that's true to some extent. The reason I am running for city council is because I don't think the council is taking seriously its fiduciary obligation requirement to deal with the city's solvency. This is an urgent problem, and no one's taking it seriously. Please do something about the budget deficit. Thank you.